We're going to be talking about the new Alien Romulus movie, 2024, directed by Fede Alvarez,
But yeah.
distributed by 20th Century Studios, so basically Disney.
Mhm.
Starred Kaylee Spaney, Isabel Merced, Aileen Wu, Archie Ronix, David Johnson, Spike Fem, and Daniel Betts. Basically, the story of space colonizers who come face to face with the most terrifying life form in the universe while scavenging the deep ends of a derelict space station. It's a little more than that, of course, and
It's a
that's what this review is
little
about.
more. Yeah. Goes a little.
So let's go ahead and start out. So Luke actually asked me this before we came on. He actually asked me, Steve, where would I put this one in? Are you guys ready? Here's my score for this one.
Yeah.
I would say this movie is better than Alien 3 and Alien Resurrection.
Okay.
However, it is not better than Aliens or Alien.
Okay.
So
That's
it's
my
third. It would be
ranking.
three.
It's
It'd be
mine
my
too.
it'd
I
be the
said
third.
this is a solid 3. It goes Aliens for me, and then this Romulus. It's number 3. Solid.
Interesting. Okay, it's pretty high praise.
And then
Yeah.
Romulus. It wasn't bad. I mean, it wasn't bad compared to the other films. Like, if we're gonna ground this movie into Alien, like the Alien franchise and where it's gonna be, it wasn't bad. There's some things though. So let's go ahead and start with
Got a
like
little
the
weird
good.
though.
Yeah. So what I actually tweeted out about this movie is I said it's good, but it's complicated.
Yes.
It's complicated. It really is. And it was complicated, of course, by my main man who is obviously producing this thing. And I don't care what anyone says. He had to have had a hand in some of this.
Yes, he did.
Steve knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Yes, he did.
Yeah. It's when we got some Easter eggs, as they want to say in the movie, but more it was like inserted, crap. So what I liked about it was I liked how they introduced some new elements of the xenomorph morphology, how they turned to from little snake thing to alien. Basically, there's like that in between phase that we never really got to see. We know it
Yeah, that
existed,
was so cool. I
but
love that.
that was cool. That was cool. Here's what I also liked about it too. I thought the effects were pretty cool. There was some good practical stuff in there. That was really cool. I
Lots and lots
actually
of
enjoyed these
puppets.
characters.
Yeah, they were good.
Yes, I actually enjoyed these characters though. I really did. This movie, when I went to see it, because I went and saw it in theaters, it was a good little slow burn at the beginning, and it's the
Yes.
beginning because they want you to get to know the characters, especially David Johnson's character who plays Andy, who's basically the cyborg. And
Yes.
it's between him and Kaylee Spaney is Rain. So Rain and Andy are basically brother and sister, even though that's not really the case, obviously, because he's a synth.
He's a
So
synthetic,
I thought, yes, I thought that element was cool. I thought that was an interesting little element to have. Basically, backstory is that her father finds Andy in the garbage and basically programs him to take care of Rain. So I thought that was cool. I liked too, Steve. Did you see the introduction of Wayland Yutani as basically not a very good company? Because these people are stuck on this derelict planet where the sun doesn't shine,
Wayland,
and they are basically working slave wages to try and get off this planet.
That felt a
which
little
is
Star
basically
Wars
what
Empire-y to me.
that's really good. Yeah. I thought that element was interesting. I liked it.
Yeah.
There was some good, the main characters I thought were cool.
They were solid.
Man, they were solid. They were solid characters. You actually cared about them. Solid gore. There was some good solid blood in this movie. What I liked too, I like the technology. I thought the technology was perfect because they
Spot
kept it
on.
exactly in between Alien and Aliens, where it's
Yeah.
basic like DOS programming. You don't have like a PC. You have basic instruments on this spaceship.
Yeah. It makes sense. It has to look futuristic, but also like 70s at the same time. You know what I
Right.
mean? So
And
it has
it
to
looked
be
really
older
good.
tech while being futuristic, and they nailed it.
Yeah, they nailed it really good. Um, the horror element was good.
Yeah.
It was more on the side of Alien, more giving you the jump scares than it was, action. Now let's get to what. Okay, well, Steve. What did you like about the movie?
I liked exactly what you said. I like the vibe of the movie. The tone and the sounds really sound like Alien One. You could definitely tell that Fred was like, "Look, we're going all the way back to Alien One. We want to make this a horror film, not an action film. Even though it got a little weird at the end, right?
And we're
But
going to discuss
it
that next year.
yeah, it wasn't. I love that it was a horror film. Like you were afraid of the environment. You were afraid of Wayland Utani. I was, because they
Yeah.
like control the planet. You know what I mean? So you kind of like go back to like hating them as a company. But just like you said too, Rob, like in the first film, they refer to them as the company, right? And
Mhm.
now here you can actually see what the company is doing. You know, I love that probably the most.
Okay, so let's get to the part you were discussing and I was discussing about what was weird. So here were some weird aspects of the movie that I'm gonna give some marks of. So I really enjoyed it, but here's where I'm gonna start cutting it down a little bit because here's where it was very complicated. From the moment they basically show the Nostromo and them picking off the fossil or egg or whatever it was interesting because that was actually in a deleted scene
See,
from the
yeah,
original Alien
directly, right?
that no one really knew was there until you only watch the special edition. There was a lot of like good nods, but not like a good enough action. Like you had the new
Yeah.
plasma rifle, which I thought was epic, but she hardly
That was it.
fired the thing. She
Mhm.
hardly shot the thing.
Until the
And,
very,
it was
very end, yeah.
yeah, but even her plan was a little bogus too. Here's the other weird thing too. When they brought back Ash from the original Alien,
Yeah.
which they used AI to do. I thought it looked okay.
It really,
But
so that's the biggest negative I would have to say about the film is
yeah,
it looks
bringing back
so
Ash.
weird. You know what it reminded me of, that you said that in the beginning, where this is a Disney produced thing.
Talking
It looked like Luke Skywalker's face from
Luke
The
Sky.
Mandalorian. It
Well,
looked like that.
Luke Skywalker also, like, I remember Tarkin in Rogue One.
Yeah. Oh, that was
I
even
thought they didn't
worse,
look
dude.
bad.
Well, actually,
Tarkin's
well,
face
here's
was
the thing.
bad.
In both of those cases, the issue is that, like, doesn't matter how good it is that, like, it's CGI. It's
Yeah,
like,
Right.
dude.
can't.
Yes.
So to me, it's just like, so far right now, all that I'm able to see is that, like, all I can think about is either that's pretty solid CGI or that's pretty bad CGI. But at the end of the day, all I'm thinking about is the CGI. So so basically that actor, that performance, it means nothing to me because it's like I'm too distracted
Like
by
this
the
is
Interesting.
so weird that it looks like this. And the problem is, Rob, did you care more about it when you saw him, like when you saw Ash, or did you care more when he was like on TV? So when he was
I'll
like
tell you what.
buzzed out, I
That
cared
was
more about
weird
that.
because it looked
Yeah.
like the old Fallout games,
Yeah.
or some kind of like terrorist kind of thing. That's what
Yeah.
it looked like. But what really bothered me, what was really strange about it, and here's why when Ash showed up, it was one of my dislikes in a way,
Yeah.
was immediately, and I don't know why this is starting to become a trend from, of course, Prometheus. Alien Covenant. But why all of a sudden, and sorry, our audience, a little bit of spoilers here. Why is the synth kind of being the fall guy as the bad person? I've noticed that the
Yeah.
synth now. Okay, synth in the first movie, Ash, yes, was bad. Aliens, Bishop was cool. He helped Ripley. Third
Yeah.
movie, there was no
There was no,
android
yeah.
until the end, and there's a debate on whether that was really Bishop the android or Bishop the creator. Resurrection. You had basically Winona Ryder, and
Right. Yeah, when
she
I
tried to
write.
kill her at first, but then became her friend. But then you had Prometheus and you had Alien Covenant, where both the synths are like bad, and they
Yeah.
work for the company.
Like way
This
back.
was one of those times I was like, "Are you really going to follow that trope again?" And they did.
And they
And that
did
was
it.
one of the traps I did not like.
I
Was they
hated
they
that.
fell for that trap of, oh, the synth is now the bad guy again. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And the minute to and like my son
Well,
hated it
they
because I
kind
wouldn't
of
say it
did.
with my boy.
I don't know. I
The
kind of
minute
agree and
and
I
the
disagree.
minute he plugged him in to the computer, I
You
was
knew
like,
what
"That's
was
it."
Yeah.
I was like, "That's it." And that was the
That's
other element I wasn't happy about.
really though.
Also, because they didn't really, because it was like we knew that was exactly from Covenant what happened. That was what happened in
Ah,
Covenant. It
okay.
was like
Okay.
following the same tropes. And I'm going to go ahead and say it again, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to say it right now to all the writers for future writing alien movies. If I see one more alien get blown out of a goddamn airlocker, I swear to God, dude, because it is a ridiculous trope that needs to end. Do it some other way.
I know. It's like what? How can you
some credit because it's done by explosion? But it's like, my God.
Yeah, I get what you mean, dude. But I'm gonna, you know what? I'm actually gonna turn the page, Rob. I'm going to defend that a little bit. They do a twist. I'm not gonna like say anything here for spoiler reasons, but they do a twist on that trope of, yeah, here's the android. The android is bad, right? Obviously, but they do a trope on it that is unique a little bit, right? But not great.
Kinda.
It's kind of okay. It's kind of cool, but I was like, all right, you know, I can kind of forgive it on that type of thing, but it is still kind of hand wavy and some like instances. But I don't know. I felt like the goods just outweighed the bad in the film, though. There was a lot of bad.
It was good. It was good. There wasn't too much bad, but I'm just talking about like, okay, and then here's the other things too. You can tell where Ridley Scott had his hand in there when they talked about the goo, and it was only for like 2 seconds in the computer. Not to mention, you know, and I don't want to give it away for anyone who doesn't want to see it, but then there was like no memory of what this stuff does, and everyone's just basically having a field day with it.
Right.
So it was another way for Ridley Scott to be like, hold on, he pulled a House of Dragon. He inserted
the thing
into this.
He's
and
like,
he was like,
you're never going to get Prometheus. Here it is. It's like, no, right. You don't need that in
Here's
this
the
film.
connection.
Here's the
He's
thing.
like, this is the act right here, everybody.
Alien, Xenomorph, Blender, black goo. And it's like, I don't really, we didn't need, and the thing about it with Rob is saying, for people who are like, what do you mean? On a loose base thing is those type of MacGuffins in films, like for instance, The Rise of Skywalker. You guys remember the little daggers? Like, oh, you go to this special place and look through it like Goonies style, and you can see the broken whatever. That's stupid, right? Yeah. This is also dumb, but what makes it worse is like when you make it a like plot device too. It's like, all right,
absolutely.
It would have been like whatever, Rob, if he would have been like, hey, Easter egg, but like making it something is like, dude, like why? You just keep it like you were doing. The film is going good here. You know, get this black out of the way.
And the thing is that and with film going audiences again, it's like we can't be trusted because 2 weeks ago we were talking here about Wolverine and Deadpool, and I said, you know, it was literally Marvel shaking a bunch of keys in front of our faces. And it made more money than any other film. It's like, and they're gonna keep doing it. And the thing is, whenever they do it badly, we're gonna be like, well, that's what the problem was. You just focus too many on references from older films. But when they do it great, they're still gonna just and all they're going to see again. The studios don't care. Like, they don't care about 3 people from Arizona talking shit about their film. They just care about the box office. The box office speaks way louder than us, and we talk loudly. We talk so loudly.
Very loudly.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do. They hear the box office returns more than anything. So it's like so again, the public, it's like, if you are tired of these references, are you tired of this?
Pretty sure the Game of Thrones writers know this.
We talk with our money, you know. But I mean, like, again.
So
I paid for
overall,
so.
Steve, I'm gonna give Alien. Like I always say, I'm gonna give Alien a 9. I'm gonna give Aliens a 9. I'm gonna give Alien Romulus a 7.
Oh, really? I was gonna give it an 8. I'm not, but you know
okay.
why, dude? My 8 is because I like Resurrections. That's why. Like Resurrections a lot.
I just felt like that was like the only problem is like Luke, you're absolutely right, but it wasn't like hey, like remember this. It was just more like
Yeah.
check out this pulse rifle, and it was like oh cool, the pulse rifle. But then they were like do it improved, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like oh okay.
Well, you know what, dude? I was kind of like, that's kind of cool if you play the games. You know what I mean? If you play some of
There
the
was-
Alien
yeah,
games, I was
I
like,
mean-
oh, that's pretty sick. But it
That's
kind of doesn't make
cool.
sense a little bit.
Does make sense. But I enjoyed it overall. I thought it was
Yeah.
I thought it was good. I don't want to deter anyone from seeing it, so I thought it was good.
It's definitely-
7.5 then.
Did you guys
7.5.
see it in IMAX? Because they made a big push
Yes.
for IMAX.
Yeah.
Is it?
Nah,
It
It was good.
is it good for IMAX?
I think it's good
Yeah,
for
it's good.
IMAX, dude. This is especially for the first like 15 minutes where you hear the sound.
Oh,
of
yeah.
it. It's really
Yeah.
like, oh, this is an IMAX.
Yeah, because it sounds like a face hugger's like crawling right behind you and stuff.
Yeah.
It was cool.
Oh,
Yeah, it's in the theater.
That was the other
It
thing
was
too.
crazy.
They made the face huggers actually scary a little bit
Yes.
in this one
Okay.
for the most part.
Even though there was
Introducing
a
some
lot.
new elements too. I liked that too. The
Yeah.
introduction of the face hugger. This idea that like the face huggers like they see in like thermal.
Oh,
Ooh,
right.
yeah,
That's
so they
cool because
basically
you never know. You never knew how they
I thought that was cool.
Yes. You.